That's good.
But started recording.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to our second virtual coffee break. We are going today to have a special presentation by Adam, which was the first employee to provide some really good tips of what it's like to be working remotely. And I think that it will be very good for him to share his experience with you guys. And at some point, obviously, for all of us to share how things are going for us and share our own tips so we can help each other. There are people within Abarca that already has expressed some anxiety while working from home, even when they are not necessarily homeschooling their kids. So let's make it, special, this session, so we can share some information, some valuable information for us to hang in there while working remotely, and this shall pass. So Adam, take over.
You got it. So hello everyone, my name is Adam Calabrese. I'm a DevOps engineer in the software engineering team under Angel Tirado. And I was hired as a 100% remote employee because I live in Boston, Massachusetts. So after everything happened, Talent Benefits sent us an email, and I reached out with some kind of tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. And I think they'll be really helpful. And if at any time I want this to be like a Q&A, so feel free to stop me and ask. But I wrote down 6 pretty important tips that I think will help. And some of them might seem a little self-explanatory, but still you see people not doing them. And I'll start and fold that into number 1. It's always turn your camera on when conferencing and meeting, especially with your team. And I think that's really important because a lot of the time we miss that face-to-face aspect of meetings. And I'm going to call on to Peter. I think Peter's in this already, Peter Bangdawala and Pedro Alicia. Us 3 work very, very closely with one another. And you'll see that when I call them, my camera is on probably 99.9% of the time. So we have that face-to-face interaction. And then, I was actually at the home office last month, and we, nothing really changed because we were already having that face-to-face connection. So, you being in the office already, I think you should continue that face-to-face interaction when working from home. So really try, especially when you're in a team setting, have that face-to-face aspect. Number 2 is just staying engaged. And I use that via MS Teams, Skype. Like I said, Peter, Pedro, and I, we have a little forum where we chat all the time. So, some help there would maybe just start a group chat on Microsoft Teams. Feel free to just shoot questions to one another. Sometimes we joke around and we send each other memes or GIFs or just any times there's a problem. So just stay interactive, stay engaged, right? That's a good way to kind of, make sure you're not sitting there looking at the clock. If you're, missing your buddy at work, it's a good way to talk to them through Microsoft Teams as well. Any questions about 1 or 2? I know they seem pretty self-explanatory, but I know some people kind of still avoid those. So on to number 3, and I find that to each his own for this one. And what I mean by that, it's to block off time throughout the day for yourself to be productive. And I know that's tough because there are ad hoc meetings. I know there's meetings at various times, but there are people who are productive at different times in the day. For example, for me, every day from 2 to 4, my calendar is usually blocked. I don't like to accept meetings because that's my me time. That's when I'm most productive. In the late afternoon, that's when I get the bulk of my work done. So I like to have my meetings in the morning, check my emails, and then get my bulk of my work done from 2 to 4. So if I'm exploring any topics or trying to do some research, 2 to 4 is my time, and I urge you to do the same. Now that time for you might be from 7 to 9 a.m. or it might be from 11 to 2, whatever your time may be, right? We have to find what's most productive for us. The only reason I don't do between in the afternoons because I get hungry and then I get distracted, then I go eat lunch. So 2 to 4, I'm fed, I got my cup of coffee. So right now this would be my me time. I'm usually putting some music on and I get the bulk of my work done.
I'm sorry, Adam.
Sure.
Are you showing a presentation?
I'm not. I'm just kind of, I'm just talking. Yeah. Yeah,
Thank
I'm
you.
just talking. No
Just
problem.
making sure.
So yeah, like I said, since this is no formal presentation, feel free to stop me, ask questions, right? I want this to be kind of an open dialogue for everyone. Number 4 I have that I wrote to talent benefits was to start a routine. And for me, my routine starts in the morning, and, you know, it's human nature to be creatures of habit, right? So we have habits that we start with. And I think for me, it's waking up around 7:30, grabbing a shower. I always make myself like a hot lemon water in the morning, right? Or a cup of tea. I sit down for a half hour, look at any old emails, catch up on messages, right? Maybe some people, they go for a run. Maybe some people, they do a home workout, right? So just have a routine and get in that habit, right? Obviously, we're not used to being at home. We're used to maybe getting up, preparing our lunch, taking it to work, driving to work, things like that. You know, do some sort of spin-off where you're still going to work, but, you know, make it your at-home routine. So if you ever do need to work from home, you have that routine as well. So 5, and I really like this one. It's utilize mobile applications for messaging. And a lot of people, I think this is really underutilized. So download the apps if you have a smartphone for Microsoft Teams, Skype, Outlook. So when you are working from home, you might leave your computer and go make yourself lunch or a coffee. You know, if something important comes up, you usually have your mobile device on your person. Being able to check that is nice as well. And I know some people, when you work from home, you might not use your lunch break to actually eat lunch. Maybe you have to go run errands, run to the pharmacy, grab groceries, especially in a time like this. Having your mobile device on you at the time, being able to respond as soon as possible. So to avoid that disconnect and being able to access those applications if need be. And the last tip that I have, and I think this is really important right now, it's to have fun. Right. And it's really tough in this environment. When I was at the office, I can see how much everybody gets along and enjoys each other's company. But when at home, obviously you're just with yourself or with your family, but, you know, have fun. Like I said before, Peter, Pedro, and I, we send each other funny pictures through Microsoft Teams. We keep it light. We keep it fun and interactive. You know, we have the themes. I know Peter and Pedro and I, we had crazy hats on yesterday. And, you know, we like to crack jokes at one another in meetings, and we like to keep it light. And I think that's really, really important right now, especially with how serious everything is that's going on. Making sure we're enjoying ourselves while at home, while doing our work is extremely, extremely important. So that's, you know, the 6 tips that I wrote that I sent over to talent benefits, and I abide by those pretty strongly. If there's any questions or any conversation, you know, I'd love to kind of hear everybody else, or if anybody else has some tips, that would be great too.
Yes, I will definitely love to hear from somebody else's experience, even when they are not fully remote workers for Abarca. Is anyone voluntarily that would like to share their experience?
Yeah, I just want to say that something that has been very useful here is to take lunch at the same time every day. And if this is new for the family, and you can have lunch as a family, because when you're working, you want your time to work. You don't want interruptions. So that way you have your the rest of your family. You give them in the middle of the day a time to get requests, to catch up and whatever. And if you're like me, where everybody has to be connected because somebody has class and my wife and I have to be connected, make sure to mind your bandwidth and disconnect from the Wi-Fi, all the cell phones and everything else you're not using, because sometimes there's a lot of different conversations at the same time and you need to conserve bandwidth. So basically that's it for me now.
And then I
Thank you, Gabriel.
One more that I can add. It's kind of, you know, this to me just, you know, I didn't think of it because I'm here every day, but set up a space for yourself that is for work only. So you have no other distractions, right? I have a home office, obviously, because I'm 100% here, but try not to work, you know, on your living room couch where there's a TV. Try not to work next to a gaming console, or try to put maybe your phone aside so you can pass on the social media, but, try to set yourself, maybe if it's a foldable table or some kind of desk in a corner where you can kind of sit there and make sure you're productive there, right? And I kind of set up my office that way. And I know other people have the luxuries of a home office, but if it is possible, try to get, I know it might seem out of your comfort zone to sit up at a weird desk in your house because you're not used to it, but it'll provide helpful, right? I try not to bring my working computer into my bedroom at all because you don't want to lay down and work. I try not to bring it on the couch. I don't want to lay on the couch and work, right? This is my space and this is where I'm most productive. So I think that's really important, especially when you're coming from going to the office every day. You have that space at the office, but when you come home, you might not have it there.
To add to that, I don't know if it's what's mentioned, but on the other side, it could happen that it's really easy to keep connected for 12, 15 hours just because work's there. And I was having a conversation earlier today that it's really easy to lose the sense of time and, keep working. And that's gonna work for, the first couple of days just because you're wired and you're, being super productive. But at some point, you're gonna crash and burn. So it's really important to, take care of yourself and take time to, not work because the office is extremely easy to go to because it's your home. So
Yep.
I want to add, even though I have been going back and forth between the office, I have to. I think I want to emphasize, Gabrielle is right, is the family time. And also with Adam says, pick times where, I should say, if I know that I need to, and it's time to spend a little bit quality time and there's like an email or something I can do later on after everybody goes to bed or everybody's away, then that's the time I do it. So I try to spend a little bit of time. And then it's something I can do a little bit later. I don't need to consult with anybody. Then I do that work later on where I know there will be no distractions at all. And I can concentrate more. But yet have that family time first.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Herman. Is there anyone else that would like to share their experience?
Yeah, so I think also just working from home, like it's odd, right? Because when we would go to the office, you have so much human interaction, and now it's the opposite. Now, like for lunch, sometimes I intentionally go outside and get the mail, see the sunlight, get out of the house. So just if I know I'm going to get on a call where I don't need the machine, I might take it outside just to get out and get some fresh air. The other thing that's been interesting for me is that I've always worked at home by myself because everyone leaves around 7. And now my daughter's also working from home because of COVID. So I found out that my voice is really loud. And now I have to be mindful of her, and she's down the hallway in a bedroom. And now I have to be mindful of her. And she did tell me I was loud. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I never even thought that I had to manage it. Whoever said about the Wi-Fi, we had that problem here. We now have to go around, disconnect all the Rokus, disconnect all the phones from Wi-Fi because now her and I have to share the Wi-Fi. And then my 11-year-old is also online now. So that was something that I had to do to adjust. The other thing too is, just doing welfare checks on people, coworkers, just calling and saying, I tried to call Dawn today and she was in a meeting, Maria Martin, just different people to see how people are doing since we're not going to get to go out to the island and do that. So I've kind of been making it a point to pick 3 people a day that I just call for 5 minutes. No reason at all, just to say hello randomly. So that helps me with the social interaction that you get lonely when you're at home sometimes. But I think that's it. And just going out for lunch when I normally wouldn't, again, just to get some fresh air and talk to real people.
I think it's really important that, and kind of bouncing off of what Claudia and Carlos said too, for the lunch aspect, right? When we're at the office, we might, take a car ride to go to lunch. We might eat for a half hour. The car ride itself takes 15 minutes. So usually our lunches are 60 minutes long. At home, you could pop something in the microwave, eat it in 15 minutes, and then you're like, okay, I can go back to work. But, I understand we want to be productive, but it's okay to take that lunch break, right? Reset, go do something. I know it's a tough time. We can't get out much, but maybe we can go outside, go for a walk, do yard work, do, some kind of errands. Like Claudia said, grab the mail, just disconnect, right? We earned it, right? That 60 minutes a day, our lunch break, to kind of just step away from what we're doing, right? And especially for those with families, it could be a good time, like Gabrielle said, to be with your family for lunch, right? Get that family time in so we're not distracted later. And I think that's wildly important, right? Don't take 15 minutes because you can, right? Because it's easy, lunch is quick, but make sure to kind of stay proactive and disconnect for a little bit too.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that I had to like kind of detect is that we have a lot of young parents at Abarca. I think once, maybe a year ago, the average age was 28 years old. I don't know what it is now. And so a lot of people have young kids, and a lot of people have now lost childcare. They've lost the school support. And I don't care if the schools are supporting online. It's, as a parent, you still have things to do and questions to answer and kids to feed. I know we have one coworker who's breastfeeding, and then they also have, I think, a toddler, and she's trying to do the work. And so I think for me, I have to just, express to people that it's okay. Some of you weren't even ready to go work from home, right? You prepare an office. Some of you guys didn't have time to do that. So for some people, we're now on kitchen tables. So I feel like Abarca is now in their home. And so I just tell people, don't worry about the kids. The kids, let them roam around. I don't want them to be told to be quiet because we're in their home. So I think just being more mindful of the younger people who are now wearing many hats. They're in childcare, they're teachers, they're taking care of Abarca. And so just being a little more flexible that their worlds, for some of us, it's like, yay, we're working from home. But for other people, it's really increased their daily responsibilities. So being mindful when that happens, and I think kids are being impacted too. And social responsibility is that we should open up the door, that they can be volume whatever they want, and that we kind of keep it as normal as possible.
I want to say something. It's good that we all have this meeting that is going now, because in my case, I have a special boy with autism, and most of you guys know. If you don't know, I don't mind on that. It's just now you know it. So it's things like, it's very frustrating when you have kids here, and especially with a condition, and they don't understand. Listen, I'm working, so he's not gonna understand that. But the things that I do with him maybe is can be useful for other parents that have kids, is that integrate with you. When I said I am working in Abarca, I don't say, oh, go away, or or not in that way, like, oh, give me a space. No, I share with me, come on, sit down here. Mommy's doing this, mommy's doing that. So I make him part of that. I integrate that. He don't feel like, oh, when mommy is there, no, we cannot talk. We cannot. No, because this is our culture. This is Abarca. We are family. So if we are family, we have to integrate the kids on our daily work. So when I'm in a meeting or something, at the beginning, I have that fear because I used to work in the office. Now I work remote. It's the two things that happen in when I used to work in Abarca in the office, and now I'm remote. So that's the difference that I noticed. I am the perfect example of that. I was like, oh my God, I'm taking phone calls in the other department that was customer service. So then I have to, make silence because I have, no. And someone one day told me, oh, you have a kid there? And I say, oh yes, Abarca is the best work ever. We work with our kids and we love them, and yeah, they're part of the family. So there was like, oh, that's good. I love that. So that's the kind of things, environment that our culture here in Abarca. So I make my boy to engage with my work, sometimes. But then I said, okay, listen, you can play with this next to me, and then I keep doing my work. And it's good that you take the other that Herman said, and other coworkers said about the time. Yeah, you have the computer 24 hours. And me, I'm like, sometimes my coworker said, listen, disconnect. It's time. Even if you are alone, you have to take that time and do things different. Don't get cut the routine. Don't be the same. Try to do games with your kids, hiding or whatever. Play with them. Different play with them. So yeah, it's a wonderful idea I want to share with you. And if everyone what you do on your daily basis, I can give it tips. Oh, I do this, I do that, and it's gonna be helpful. So just to say,
Thank you, Sharon.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
Very
you for
helpful.
sharing that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and I meet you guys in the office. So sometimes I say, oh, why you wear makeup? Today I don't wear makeup, but I use makeup.
I'm wearing makeup. I
Oh,
need to wear makeup.
yeah, and you know that I always wear makeup. I try. I'm going to the office. What office? In my favorite spot. So I try to do the things because we are living in this right now, but we know we are Abarcans, so we're gonna get through this and everything is gonna be perfect.
Thank you, Sharon.
And talk with each other, call them, say, hey, what you doing, how you been, you need to talk a little bit or something like that. Oh, you don't call me. Well, now I'm calling you, I need to talk.
And I think to build off that too, from my perspective, I don't have young kids running around, but every time I'm on a call with Peter and he's at home, usually his kid comes and sits on his lap. So I look forward to saying hello, right? So from the other end of it, be supportive. If you see a kid running in the background, say hello, be interactive, right?
Yeah.
Don't act like he or she isn't there. They're like you said, they're part of the family. So funny story, if everybody knows Pedro Alicia, Peter's kid looked at me and goes, Peter, did you give Pedro some hair? And we both just started cracking up. So like I said, have fun, be supportive, like enjoy that the kids are there.
Oh, and also include your pets too, because I got 2 pets
Oh,
here.
yeah, the pets.
When I'm in the meeting, they come here and jump and then lick me and say, I'm in the meeting. And I say, okay, this is Dexter. This is my boy, and this is Casey. Include it because there's a part of the family. What we can do. We have Chester in the office. So, well, now he's in the home, but we have Chester.
Uh-oh, Chester has some competition.
I think something that I also wanted to share is that usually for folks, when we did focus groups with folks that were remote, it was a challenge. One of the challenges they shared was to like get people in the office and like find and get a hold of them and find them. I think also this opportunity is for everybody to be at the other side, right, of the screen, and learn different ways on how we can get a hold of each other and be able to connect differently. So I think I also see this as a learning opportunity for everybody in Abarca. I believe after this process, which I'm sure is going to take more than it's going to be extended.
Oh, definitely.
We don't know yet. The governor hasn't said anything, but it probably will, given the amount of cases. I think that it's going to change the way we work. So let's just take the advantage of learning about this opportunity and sharing best practices. And this is what we wanted to do in this call, right? We have folks that have been remote for some time, and they have a lot of experience in this and learnings that they can share with us. And it's how can we do it better once we're out of this situation, and how can we support each other differently? So I just wanted to also share that.
Thank you, Mercy. So I would like to share my own tips and my experience. I normally work one day from home. So for me, during that day, I don't wear makeup. But at this point in time, with everything that is been going on, I talked to myself and said, you know what? You need to stick to your routine because otherwise you're going to get depressed. So I still have my alarm on. So I wake up very early. I do 1 hour of exercise. Then I start making breakfast for everyone here. And then I start working with my cup of coffee, sometimes very early. But I do that because I have 1 kid and, we stop doing homeschooling. Thank God I have my husband for that because I don't have a lot of time to make it happen. but I try to make the space during the day. So that's part of the reason that I like to wake up early, so I can have the bandwidth between meetings here and there, so I can pay attention also to my kids, because this is a completely different experience for him. And I feel proud that every time that I have asked him so far, if he's happy, knowing that he can play with anyone or go outside, except for the, patio, his response is, yes, I'm happy. I don't like to give a lot of color to that question, but I try to make sure that I have the bond with him, and even when I'm not able to homeschool with him, it's only my husband. I try to make his lunch, his snacks, and have him on that routine as if he was on the school. And for me, the eating time and my snacks are very important. I also need to keep that type of routine. As some of you may know, I like to work as many hours as possible. But I do, commit to sticking to have, like an off time during the afternoon, so I can get other things in my house done. But basically, the most important thing for me is to keep doing my routine and exercising, because at this point, knowing that you can't go out, it could be very difficult, and it could be very lonely, even when you have other family members at home. Also, I try not to go to the pharmacy, so I use the home delivery app. So for the folks that live here in Puerto Rico that are active in Triple S, I highly recommend the app. For me, has been working very good. So I do recommend the use of the app, so you don't have to go out and buy anything at the pharmacy. So that's basically it. Is there anyone else that would like to share any other feedback or tips?
Well, hi.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, so in my case, you can see I have this little one here. I usually work 2 days from home. However, we already have a routine established that they go to school and to their daycare. So it's not the same. This is totally different from us. And for Puerto Ricans that we are in a lockdown, in a total lockdown, it's, I don't know other moms, but it's a little bit frustrating, because I want to do my job at 120%, and sometimes between feedings, between homeschooling my teenager, it's been a little chaos. However, I have to say that I've been only with the company for about 5 months, but it's the best change I've done in my life, and I think it was at the correct moment, because maybe with another company, we couldn't do this. This is not the environment for other companies. My group, it's been very supportive. If I cannot attend to a meeting because I'm between something with the baby, somebody else will take the meeting, and we exchange the information. So I think Abarcans are special people, and we're living in special moments. This is not the day-to-day. And I want to give kudos for those who live and work remote always, because one of the things that I've heard is that it's very isolating. And if us that goes to the office with this experience, maybe we learn to reach them more, and just to say hi, how are you, how are you doing, are you feeling alone, do you want to talk? Because this is an eye-opening situation for a lot of us. So I'm here with a 1-year-old driving myself crazy.
Call me whenever you want to talk, okay? I can give you a lot of tips.
Thank you, Joanny. Carla, did you want to share something?
Yeah, I just wanted to share, echo some of the words that people have said here. Last week was a very overwhelming week. We had a lot of work, at least in our area. We had a lot of work, so we like lost track of time. So we were working 10 hours, more than that, without any break, and it was very overwhelming. Um, and as for my case, I got burned out. Like I was feeling sick at the end of the week. I was like, it was very hard. So what I'm doing this week is I'm turning off all notifications. So I'm working from, let's say, 9 to 5, and that's it. Like if I do not have an emergency going on right now, I'm turning all notifications off from my phone, from Outlook, from Teams, so I don't keep receiving beeps throughout the night. Because work, I mean, we have work to do for 24 hours a day. But I think setting those boundaries are very important, and from our sake, our sanity too. So that's I just wanted to share that about the notifications, because I mean, they can drive us crazy, all the notifications from these different sites. So I decided to like turn off notifications, at least from group chats or team chats. So if there is an actual emergency, my manager will call me or text me like outside of the group chats. So just wanted
Thank
to
you, Carla.
share that. And also, like, these sessions has helped a lot this week, because I take this time to like pause a minute and focus on this meeting, hearing everyone else. And it's like an actual coffee break, the actual coffee break that I did. So it's very good. So keep doing this.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Carla.
Carla. Thanks for the feedback. I appreciate it. And yeah,
Sorry to interrupt. So just to bounce off that, one of my tips was to utilize mobile applications, but I probably should have mentioned what Carla is saying, right? As far as the
Maybe too much.
your phone can be going off all night, right?
Yeah.
That could be really disruptive. So managing notifications in a specific, time allotment could be extremely important, right? So for me, it makes sense. And also don't be afraid to write to your fellow associates, hey, I'm grabbing a coffee. Hey, I'm running this errand, and then just shoot them a quick message back. It's better to just say, I'll be there in 30 minutes rather than to just ignore them, right? It kind of has people felt like you haven't answered them. But Carla, it's really, really important is to kind of manage the notifications appropriately, because it can get overwhelming. I agree.
Yeah, I'd like to add something to that. Along those lines, I adopted this discipline and it has worked for me. I check emails and WhatsApp and Telegram and all things just 3 times a day, at 9 a.m., at 11:30, and at 5:30 p.m. Between those times, I just do focused work, and I turn off all notifications as well. So I've been practicing that, and it's working for me. So I want to let you guys know.
Thank you, Carlos.
I want to add to that. Just work. Just try to stretch your legs, because sometimes we get really, really focused and we sit for like 4 hours or 3 hours. And for the sake of your legs, please stand up and stretch your legs. Like, I really mean it. Exactly, Carlos. Exactly. That's really necessary. That's really, really, really necessary. You need to keep your legs flowing blood. So please do that. As a recommendation from a patient that actually had a back surgery. So the surgeon told me that when working remote, just please have a routine to stand up. You can't work more than 1 hour seated. You have to stand up and stretch your legs. Besides that, I think that everybody told a very, very good point. I really hope that you guys like my bag. I thought that every Abarcan coffee break will be using different hats, but I guess that I was confused. So either way, I just wanted to share my hat just to have fun, just to make you guys laugh in these uncertain times.
Took me a second to figure out who was talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I
Same here.
That's the
love
point.
your
That's the point.
helmet. Love it, and thanks for the tip. That's definitely very good to share. Claudia says, I don't know if everyone was able to read it, but a doctor told me that sitting is the new smoking thing, and definitely. So that is important for you to keep moving and stretch yourself, drink a lot of water, and eat well, because we need to keep our minds healthy and our bodies healthy in order to keep working, and who knows how long will this last. But like family, we're gonna make it together, and I feel very proud that I am working for a company like Abarca to have this type of opportunity for everyone, people that have kids, that don't have kids, no, regardless of your age. So and regardless of your position, everyone is included, and this type of a space for all of us to share and have a good laugh for different reasons, like the bags. So it's good because that's the things that normally happen at the office, and now we don't have that. So we need this type of space. So my invitation to all of you and to everyone that unfortunately was not able to make it today is to continue coming back to these sessions that we're doing, because this will provide that space for all of us to feel connected, to stay connected, even to people that are not related to our direct teams, which is important because that's what we normally do at the office, okay? And don't ever feel like you are alone or sad or depressed, because we need to stay in touch and help each other, support each other during this time. And I know that we are going to be successful at the end, and we're going to fight this virus, and we're going to continue working in this happy environment that we have, that Abarca provides to every one of us.
Another thing that I forgot to mention, and it's not related to the work, is for family. Do a Zoom with your family, with all the members. It's craziness. I like it. I did it, and it worked, because my mom did not know how to use Zoom, and I have to, okay, mom, I'm gonna write in WhatsApp each step, what you gonna do, then hit the link, and then you gonna see my face. And she was like nearly crying because she don't know too much about technology, and then she don't see me too much. When I said that to her, and then I connect all my family around all the places that I have a big family. So we every day at 8 o'clock we make a Zoom for all my family, and then you can share, and you can you have that support, and they don't feel like in depression, or oh, I cannot see I don't know, my family.
Yeah.
And you're gonna see it. Hey, play with them, I play with them. I said, what I'm cooking today, guess what? Come on, who's the winner? Let's see. So I'm like, all the time try to play with them too, because they need us more, and to have a balance, family and work. So just to You can do a Zoom every day at 8 with your family, and you're gonna feel great, and you're gonna make them happy.
Thanks, Sharon. And you said something very important, which is something that that is related to what Adam expressed at the beginning. It is very important for all of us to keep the balance, the right balance between work and what needs to be done for our family or for our own. So that is very important for all of us to keep in mind. And please reach out to any one of us in Talent Strategy or directly to Talent Benefits by phone, by Skype, or by email. If you need like some specific support that, or if you have any situation, special situation that you will prefer to talk privately, just, you know, I would like to remind all of you that we are here for you, and things could get tough, but will be available always for you and provide the support as needed. And if we have to reach out outside, you know, for external support in order to help any of you, we will do that. But you know, please know that we will be here for you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, Maria.
Thanks
Thanks
for letting me share. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Adam. I want to have this moment to be very thankful for the valuable information that you initiated last week, and for everyone else, the information that we all shared during this coffee break. It was very good. It was very good also to see all of you, except Maria, that I was not able to see your face. But thanks for all of you being here, and please keep coming back and keep, you know, spreading the word for others to participate in this type of meetings and take advantage of this space that Abarca provides to all of us. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome,
Bye.
guys. Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.